What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Team Officials YouTube channel. Today is Main Deck Monday, and it's weird to say that this is Main Deck Monday because it's a control deck, but I feel like this style of control has been around for a minute. We see it played and very well to Sanders, right? Sanders has played it fantastically, phenomenally, whatever words you want to use. Sanders actually made like top 8 at like the last 4 or 5 tournaments I think he's played outside of Worlds, which is fantastic. And each one has a new iteration of control. Now I think this control and Mewtwo control are the more common ones that we've seen. And this one's actually a new kind of flair to it. The big thing that we're going to talk about first is Yveltal. Yveltal has Cries to Destruction. You discard 3 special energy cards for your opponent's deck. From their Pokemon. Yveltal discards 3 special energy from his Pokemon. You play 4 of those, and that's the counter Lugia. Lugia's, the best deck right now, and that definitely does counter the good old deck. I guess the one thing that they could potentially do is go for the good old Lumineon, and that can return the energies and stuff like that. But then you can put like Miltank into kind of the Lumineon, and then you can discard more energies, stuff like that. So there's kind of ways to get around it, of course. And of course, Lumineon can't one-shot Eldegoss, which is one of the other big loops. Once you're almost decked out, the point of the other loop is decks that can't one-shot the Eldegoss. You can use Half Match when you place Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn. Maybe put a supporter card from your pile into your hand. And the card you want to put in your hand is going to be Colress. Colress is going to say, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and put 3 of them in your hand. Put the other cards into the Lost Zone. The point of when you almost deck out is you want to have Eldegoss, a double turbo energy, and a Cape of Toughness. So when you use the good old Colress Spearmint, you look at the top 5, you put the 3 in your hand, then you attach the double turbo to the active Eldegoss, put the Cape of Toughness to the bench, and then you use Float Up to send the Eldegoss into your deck and promote the Eldegoss from the bench to the active, and you do this loop forever. Then, of course, next turn, you can get the Eldegoss, do it again, and you constantly just loop the Eldegoss V because you can hack match every single turn for the Colress Experiment to keep the loop going forever. And eventually, you just deck out your opponent, and they can't watch out the Eldegoss. So that's kind of the big 2 strategies there, right? You got the Yveltal to take out the special energies, the Eldegoss for maybe like the RCS decks and stuff like that, maybe Duraludon. Do you survive a Duraludon hit? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, they only do 220, so that does work that way, so that's good. So you survive a hit that way. But the one deck that's going to give you trouble is going to be Lost March, or the Lost Box decks, right? Those can do somewhat significant damage. Most likely, more likely, we're talking about the Rayquaza build. Rayquaza does a ton of damage. It could watch out the Eldegoss V. So the point with that matchup and how you want to take down that matchup is you want to use a Flying Pikachu VMAX, which is the new addition to Sanders' deck. And like I said, Sanders has been doing fantastic with this deck. I'm going to try to play this deck today. I'm going to do really, really bad, but I'm just trying to explain what Sanders kind of does with his deck. So Flying Pikachu V and Flying Pikachu VMAX. We actually see him do this combo on stream. He uses a card like Thorton, choose a base Pokemon in your discard pile, and switch one of your base Pokemon in play. Attach cards, damage, counter, special conditions in play, and other cards effects on the new Pokemon. So you Thorton one of your base Pokemon into a Flying Pikachu V, and then you can evolve the Flying Pikachu VMAX, and attach a double turbo, and go to the max build and make where base Pokemon can't hurt you. And you want to do this after all your Pokemon have been knocked out, or if you can Scoop Up Net all your Pokemon, because when you play against Lost Box decks, they play Escape Rope, so they could Escape Rope around your Flying Pikachu, back up, and take a knockout that way. So you have to be very, very careful in that kind of mindset. So that's pretty cool. That's one thing you could do. Let's see what else we got here. So another cool card in the deck is going to be Snorlax. It's got the Unfazed Attacks. Prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Does Pokemon. I think the big thing here is going to be maybe Sableye. I don't know if this is just like an attacker or if there's some kind of effects I'm not thinking about. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Sableye. That's a pretty big one. But effects of attacks, I think it's just Sableye, right? I could be wrong, but this could be another kind of Lost Box answer, because that Big Snore does 180, and it can start knocking out Lost Box, especially when it's like late game, they're on a resource, stuff like that. You can Big Snore them and maybe take knockouts that way. It could be a way to take a knockouts as well if you're in a time situation, because one thing that Sander struggles with is when he's in time, and not so much in time, but more so when he's in top cut, and maybe this is his answer to try to take knockouts. Not 100% sure. There's a Starly here. It's got the Keen Eye, search for 2 cards and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. But the cool thing is you use Sky Circus. If you play Bird Keeper this turn, ignore all energy, so Starly can finding the last 2 cards to maybe get like the Flying Pikachu playoff, maybe get the Eldegoss V playoff or something like that. So that's something you have to kind of worry, like note about. A Starly can help you finish those combos, which is pretty neat. Miltank is for those decks that don't have an answer to. They don't have an answer to Miltank, right? If you promote Miltank and they only play Pokemon to V, and they have no way to damage Miltank, you could just win games that way, which is pretty nice, right? And also, like I said, it is a good answer against Lugia when they start looping the Lumineon. Like when they start stuck with the Lumineon, you put Miltank in the active, right? Then they smack the Miltank, and then you can then use Yveltal to discard the energies. So that's a pretty cool combo. And then you can get it back again with Thorton to get the Miltank back out. And so then they had to go for the a non-Lumineon play. So that's kind of like, that's kind of your answer to the Lugia thing. Remember, this deck is built around Lugia because Lugia is like 30% of the meta. So you're going to hit this deck. You're going to hit Lugia most of the times. And then Arceus decks, which is Eldegoss. And then you're going to hit Lost Box, which is kind of why Flying Pikachu and Eldegoss are in there, right? If your opponent doesn't play... they don't play Charizard, or if they don't play Rayquaza, you could go with Eldegoss. So that's an answer there. Just to let you know. Regieleki is just a good card because you put a training card from your disc pile to your hand just for use training cards. Manaphy is to protect your bench, so they don't take prize cards too quickly. And Greninja is going to help you draw through your deck as well. Because the point of deck is to actually deck yourself out first and then start using Eldegoss to get the loot going. And Echoing Horn can put a base Pokemon from your discard onto the bench. We have one Hisuian Heavy Ball to search your prize card for one base Pokemon, put in your hand. We have one Lost Vacuum, 4 Quick Ball, and these are all like one-ups that are very, very good in certain situations. There's a lot of situations, it's kind of hard to cover them all. 3 Scoop Up Net to reuse Pokemon, and to go for that combo where you pick up all your Pokemon with Scoop Up Net, then tap a Flying Pikachu VMAX. 1 Yell Horn could make it where if your opponent is just attacking with one Pokemon, you could confuse him and put him in a bad situation. There's probably some other scenarios that I'm not really thinking of, but I know the one-up is really good. I'm trying to think of what deck it was. Maybe it's like... If it's like a deck that can like just constantly swing over and over again and do like a ton of damage, you can Yell Horn them, confuse them for a turn, especially if they don't have any of the base Pokemon. Galar Mine is always a good trick to bring up Pokemon against like Mew and stuff. You can just like, boss sort of bring up Pokemon, Galar Mine. This can work in multiple decks as well. You could just like deck them out once you're like low in resources, because you do play 3 Galar Mines and their cheat cost 2 more is like hefty. And a lot of decks aren't playing Switch outside of Lost Box, which Lost Box makes most of the meta. Like against Lugia, they're not playing a bunch of Switch cards. So that's really good, Boss Order, get the Trap, Bird Keeper for the Starly, 1 Bruno, Pokemon's knocked out, so shuffle your hand to deck, draw 7. 2 Colress Experiment to go the Eldegoss, 1 Peonia to look at 3 prize cards, put in your hand and put 3 back. 2 Sidney to reveal a trainer card, discard up to 2 combination of trainer cards. Tool cards, special energies, not trainer cards, sorry. Tool cards, special energies, and stadium cards. The big things are going to be special energies and stadium cards. Tool cards could be okay, but definitely like getting rid of people that can counter Galar Mine. That could be a big one as well. Thorton, we already talked about this. Big Parasol is actually really, really good for Flying Pikachu. And the reason why that is like, let's say he gets Regis. Regis can go with Regice and swing and make it where you can't like tackle your Vs anymore, but if you have a Big Parasol on your Flying Pikachu, it says as long as those Pokemon are active, prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to all of your Pokemon. Resistance effects are not removed though. So if you can go for the Flying Pikachu plus Big Parasol, you just like auto win Regis, which is really cool. 3 Cape of Toughness, this is for the Eldegoss, we already talked about that. 4 Double Turbo, it's your main bread and butter, Cry of Destruction, you got the Float Up, you got the Max Balloon. You got so many Pokemon that need that. 4 Captures on your base Pokemon. 4 Speed. Lightning. When you catch the Lightning Pokemon, draw 2. This is really good, obviously, with Regieleki and Pikachu, but usually don't attach a Speed Energy to Pikachu, because then you have a Pikachu on the bench that could be knocked out. And 3 Twin Energy. So that's the list. I try my best to cover as much as I know about the deck. I have played it. Really? Did you see that, guys? Zora just like ran and jumped on the deck. Not the deck, on the deck, the desk. Yes, you did. Also, what? Yeah. It's freaking out because I have 25,000 tokens. We'll spin those eventually. But if you're curious, Sander actually did submit this list. He actually submitted the wrong list. It had 1 Crushing Hammer and 1 Trekking Shoes. He tried to justify saying why he played those cards, but in reality, like the 1 Crushing Hammer is like good because you don't know what your opponent is playing, and if Sander drops a 1 Crushing Hammer, his opponent might be thinking he's playing 4, but in reality, it's probably just not a good card. I think we cut it for a 4-speed Lightning, and there was 1 Trekking Shoes, and he cut that for something else, or had it for something else. I can't remember what we cut it for, but this is actually like Sander's like real list. If we're gonna talk about that, he still made top 8 with like his incorrect list, which is like pretty funny. Okay. So his hand is very interesting. Let's start off first with a quick ball. Discard a Sidney. So we do have the 2 Eldegoss, which is great. We got the Regieleki, we got the 1 Pikachu. Okay. Thornton's in there. Cape. 1 Double Turbo's prized. 1 Scoop Up Net's prized. The Hisuian Headball's in there. 1 Yveltal's prized. Okay. So I'm going to Regieleki, attach a speed to draw 2. Press done. Okay. No need to put a Greninja down right now. It doesn't really help me too much. So we'll see. I think this is most likely Lugia. So we'll see how the Lugia matchup goes. We were talking about how you can like go for the Miltank if we want to, right? Which could be really good. I didn't see Miltank was in the deck. I think I don't remember seeing it on top of my head. It's got like the funny full art, so it's kind of like easy to see. Now, you still can hypothetically use Flying Pikachu VMAX in this matchup because you're gonna one-shot Lugia, so they're not gonna really. Maybe they could hypothetically one-shot you, so maybe that's probably not a good idea. Actually, thinking about it, because if they put like multiple like powerful card energies in a choice spell, they can one-shot that Flying Pikachu. There's a Luminion V. Let's search for a supporter card. Okay, so it might be a long game. We're probably not gonna play many matches with this deck. More so, I just want to explain Sander's deck, and I think it is. I think it does justify being a main deck. And I think you are going to Orlando this week, and I think it is a deck to consider. I think it actually is pretty good. I've been doing okay with it. I obviously haven't had as much time and experience as Sander has, but just be able to like Yveltal your opponent is really good. Like, because that's like the big thing nowadays is like countering Lugia. Did I say we had 1 Yveltal prize? I think we had 3 in the deck and 1 in the active. So there's no money going to get us a new hand. Okay. Well, I have answers for everything right now. Okay. Luminion comes active. Interesting. Hey, we already talked about how Luminion can work. So, do we boss this up to make him waste another energy card to retreat? That's fine. Or do we want to save the boss order? Because they're going to go for Aqua turn 120, which is a knock on my Snorlax. That's nice. I think I do want them to waste that energy. They play like 14 energies, 13 energies, something like that. So there's a double turbo bead attached, which is good for us. Now, one card that we didn't look for, oh, there's a double turbo being discarded too, so another double turbo gone. They only play like 2 of those usually, so they had to be very careful with the Lumineon now, because like Aquaturn is like really wants to utilize that double turbo. So you can see like it's already going places. Now we could be we can't lose the search, so that's good. I forgot to like talk about this, but if they play Raikou, they could like double ping. But the only way they can take a knockout now is that they play like Zigzagoon plus Scoop Up Net, which would be like wild. Like I don't think we've ever seen that before. But I guess it could be something they could play. They can like double ping knockout or something. That could be really cool. Okay. Statland. It sounded like it could have been a good attacker. Take 2 prize cards. But we don't have that many basic Pokemon. That was the Lugia, right? I feel like that was Lugia. Yep, so there's Lugia. So they're most likely going to go for a Tempest Dive here for the knockout. And they want to go Yveltal and try to get rid of their special energies. So we can go for a Bruno here. I think that's probably better than Colress Experiment, because I can play my hand down pretty low. And I'd rather do that than Colress and like Lost Zone cards, because Bruno's going to give us a full effect of 7. So there's double Archeops. What they should probably do is like go for an Archeops attack and not the Lugia attack. We'll see what they decide to do. Another quick ball discards it. Oranguru. Oranguru could actually be really good in this matchup because they can save their energy. So go for the Lumineon here, which I think is interesting. Are they going to go for like the Lumineon loop? I don't think it's that good right now because, well, I guess they can like Lumineon for Lumineon and like they can go for the Lumineon, swinging the Lumineon, I guess. So research, okay. I think that's what they might do here. They might. We'll see what they do here. Yeah, so they're going to Aqua Turn 120 send the other Lumineon. Which is like okay strategy. But if we go Miltank, they have to send up Archeops. They took on it there. Okay. They gotta do another one. Now, like I said, them discarding discarding double turbos, like 2 double turbos, great for us. Because they most likely only played the 2. Now, also with like this double Lumineon strategy, they have to continuously find these Lumineons too. It's not like they're guaranteed to find this every single time. So send in the Lumineon, okay. Twin Energy. Twin Energy is not that good right now. Oh my gosh. A lot of these cards are good. Okay. I don't need a capture. We want the Eldegoss, and we want this. The vacuum could be good if they play Air Balloon. Because we don't know if they play Air Balloon or not. Perfect. Starly's in the video too. Okay. So we know they have research in hand. So capture. Okay. Wonder why they conceded. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you guys. All right. Well, I think that's a good. I think that's a good showcasing and like talking about the deck and what Lugia could do and how you counter with this deck against Lugia. All right. It's probably my last game with the deck. We won both games. Okay. We start Snorlax, which is really good. That's really, really good. So it is Genesect or Mew. This is probably like one of your better matchups. So we do have one prized. I'm just going to hold his hand and Gourmandize. We don't need Parasol, so we can discard that. And just a Meloetta build. Interesting. This might be hard. And I'm only saying it might be hard because they most likely might play... They might play Palpad and Silene. So we'll see. So they need to find an energy here. They can take a knockout this turn. This does discard 3, which is very important to note. Now, they're going to get back playing Mew most of the time now. If they copy the list they got first and or second, that list does not play Silene or Palpat. So there's no way to get back their energy. So once you discard 4 energies, you win the game. Just to let you know. So if you can take the onslaught of just discarding Mews or knocking out or get rid of energies with your Yveltal, you pretty much win that matchup. And of course, you play Galar Mine and stuff, so you can they play cross switchers. They play 2 switch cards and two sets of cross switchers. So that's 4 outs. But after those 4 outs, they really can't do anything. So if you can survive that plus discard energies, you get boss and Genesect to win the game that way too. So that's pretty nice. So this is probably one of your easier matchups too. We're just gonna be chilling here. And we didn't show anything, so they have no idea what we're playing. But discard the Snorlax doesn't mean anything. Alright, so it's probably going to have a switch or an energy here. It's going to be one of those two. The middle one is kind of scarier because they don't have to switch. Or they don't have to, constantly switch. Because, when you tackle Mew V, you use Genesect for Techno Blast. I guess they could hypothetically just use, double Mew VMAX and copy Max Miracle for 130. That's probably the best way to do it. If you are a Mew player playing against this deck, just go for the Max Miracle play. Air Balloon and Mew, get out of town. Okay. Yo, they're going to grab a Psychic Energy here? That would have been wild. And, it's already turn 1, and they're already at 32 cards left in their deck. Now up to 29. So, that's... Yeah. And they've already played a supporter card this turn. That's good for us. Interesting. So now we're going to show what we're playing. This could be really good here. I want to get this so I can find Yveltal, and I want to get this so I can draw cards. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's pretty good. That's pretty good cards. Probably should have dropped this. That was a bad play. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for I play the card. Is there a way I could have discarded the Echoing Horn? I probably could have. I should have probably attached the Parasol and discarded the Echoing Horn, just have less cards in my hand. Because next turn, we're definitely gonna go Yveltal, Regieleki, Snorlax, Galar Mine, Speed Energy, draw 2, see what we hit. We can also Thorton a Regieleki into an Yveltal. Just pretty cool. So here's going to sit a Mew. If they go double turbo, then they can't max Miracle because they only do 110. Interesting. So there's our first native card, a Lost City. That's actually a really good card. Brings up my Snorlax. That's wild, actually. That seems like a really bad play. I think I would have brought up the Yveltal instead. I'm just saying. I think I would have brought up the Yveltal, especially if Lost City out. Because now if you take a knockout, so first off, you need do 2 air balloons? Whoa, dude, wild. Okay. Alright, so you take a knockout here. I set up Yveltal and I get rid of your energy and Galar Mine you. Did you find a... Okay, they did not find one. Interesting. So Techno Blast taking the knockout. Okay. The question is, do they play Silene? This card could be 2. No, I don't think it's actually that good. I'm lying. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Alright, so now we discarded so many energies already. 2 more double turbos. 100%. So quick ball. And do they play switch cards? They have a lot of air balloons. Okay, another quick ball. Discards a Genesect. Okay. They still gotta find a counter stadium. I think switching to this Mew would have been better because this has not so much the free treat part. My Snorlax again? Okay. Interesting. Another Lost City. So now they're almost going to be out of Snorlaxes. Interesting. So Fusion Strike attachment, that's not good. And we can Gourmadize next turn? Okay. Ooh, I get Sidney. Whoo, sorry, buddy. Okay, we're gonna grab another Yveltal. We're gonna Gourmadize. I don't know if Thorton was in the deck, but that Regieleki, that Reggie could have become a Thorton. So there we go. Once again, probably not gonna show the game with this deck, but you can see how you can beat the big 2 decks. The big 2 decks are Lugia, Mew. We talked about Lost Box. So I think this deck is good for Orlando. If you haven't had time to test it, I understand. The deck does take a lot of patience. A lot of just like, you know, just waiting. Like you're just waiting. So could be a bad thing to some players. So I don't know. It's a lot of fun though. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's fun. I think it's good. If you're going to Orlando, test the deck out. Have fun playing Yveltal. And yeah, good luck. So guys, if you're going to Orlando, try the deck out. If not, watch out. Have a great day. Alrighty. Bye.